Hollow fam, I'm Dave and welcome to Baking with Fox Hollow Kitchen. Well, National Pizza Day is coming up this week and we've got an easy pizza recipe for you. Today we're making BLT pizza.
Wow! Pizza heaven!
We're going to start with a homemade pizza crust, then top it with, what else? Bacon, lettuce, and tomato. It's simple and delicious. So if you're ready, then let's have some fun. First off, to make our dough, we're going to take 3 3/4 cup of flour in our stand mixer here. To that we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of sugar, and 1 package of instant yeast. We're going to put our dough hook on here, and we're just going to sort of whisk this together for a minute or so. Alright, that's pretty good. And now we move on. To this we're going to add 1.5 cups of water, just room temperature.
How many degrees would you happen to say that is?
Oh, it's probably about 70.
Okay.
And then a tablespoon of oil. And we're going to mix this together until it forms a dough ball. And then we're going to knead it for a couple minutes as a dough ball. Next thing I want to do here, I want to get our dough out, our dough ball, and I'm going to put it on a lightly floured surface here. And we're going to knead it again a little bit by hand, just to get it a little bit
less sticky?
Yeah, a little less sticky. It's a little kind of sticky. And actually, that little douse of flour did it just perfectly. It's now the perfect stickiness.
Since we are celebrating National Pizza Day later on this week.
Yes.
I think our fans want to know, what is your favorite pizza topping? And do you like thin crust, home style crust?
I'm kind of traditional. I just like pepperoni on my pizza. And for me, it's thin crust.
Okay.
What about you?
I definitely think I like mushrooms, or I know you're going to probably gross, but I know you always dread whenever I get black olives on the pizza. So.
Yeah, black olives.
And I'm more of a home style crust. So.
Okay.
What do our fans think their favorite pizza topping is? Let us know in the comments. And what's your favorite type of crust? Let us all know also.
Okay, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this dough ball, I'm going to stick it into an oiled bowl and cover it with saran wrap and let it sit until it doubles in size.
Okay.
However long that takes. Okay, while our dough is rising, I'm going to fry up some quick bacon here. This is thick cut bacon. And we're just going to set this in our skillet over medium heat, medium high. And fry it up and drain it on paper towels. Alright, some of these are starting to look done, so I'm going to pull them up here and put them on paper towels. And keep going. So I got all my bacon completed. Alright, I'm taking up the last couple pieces here. And we're going to set these aside while we continue with our toppings. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take an 8-ounce block of mozzarella cheese and we're just going to shred it. I probably won't need all of it for one pizza, but we'll just get it all ready, just in case.
Now explain to me why you're using the block mozzarella as opposed to the bag.
I think it's fresher than the stuff in the bag. It's just a matter of personal preference. You can use the cheese in the bag if you want. I just think that shredding it yourself is a little fresher.
And it's a lot of fun too, just by watching you here at home. So.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's that much fun.
Good stress relief,
I suppose.
if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah. Definitely. So this takes a little bit of time here, but we'll get it all shredded out.
Oh, look at that. Look how cool that looks, just that little extra bit of shredding.
And I think we are done here. I got 2 cups of mozzarella cheese ready to go for our pizza. Next, I'm going to dice up 2 or 3 small tomatoes here. These ones are kind of small, so I'm going to do 2 or 3 just to make sure I have enough. You don't need a lot. Get the cores out first. Let me cut a little ring off of here. That's more than enough tomato for our pizza. Last thing I'm going to do before we assemble our pie here, I'm going to chop up some bacon. I got a real sharp knife here. We're just going to crumble it with the knife. That's easy enough to do.
Now, could they do this by hand and just crumble the bacon that way?
It depends on your bacon. Some of it, this is a little thicker bacon, so it doesn't crumble as easy. But I'm chopping it with the sharp knife because it'll be a little less messy on my hands.
It's just personal preference,
yeah,
more or less.
Just what you want to do.
And as the saying goes, bacon makes everything better.
Oh, you know it does. Okay. I think we are about ready to assemble our pizza.
Oh, that looks awesome.
All right. It's time to stretch out our dough here. As you can see, our dough has risen to more than double its size. That took about, what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
We're going to pull it out here. It's in my nice oil pan, so most of it will just come right out.
Yeah, it definitely helps whenever you do grease up the bowl.
And we're going
It tends to slide out pretty easily.
put this down on our lightly floured surface. There we go. And we're going to stretch this out into a circle. Okay, so we got it all stretched out here. It's a little bit more. We just need a little bit more. And I'm going to throw it on our pan to get the rest of it. Have a large pizza pan here. I just want to get this the whole way to the edges.
Yes, I think Anthony would be yelling at you right about now.
Well, I don't work in a pizza place, so I'm not going to flip it over my head either, so.
Well, you should. I mean, I think you guys at home, do you guys ever want to see Dave flipping a pizza dough over his head?
Over his head.
Okay. Write to us in the comments.
Okay. Now we got this ready to go, and we're ready to put some toppings on it. Next thing we're going to do is take about a half cup of ranch dressing and spoon it all on here. This is our sauce for the pizza. You could use like a seasoned aioli, like a mayo, but I'm using ranch dressing. And we're just going to spread this out with the back of a spoon to where it's all over the crust.
And just make sure you get it to the edges.
Get it right to the edges, yep. Okay, we're good here. And then our next step is we're going to sprinkle our cheese over the top evenly. Again, get it all the way to the edge of the crust.
For those of you at home watching this, you always want to start with sprinkling your cheese on the outside. What I was always told by my former boss was that you want to do it on the outside because the way that the cheese is, it'll melt towards the middle. You don't want to ever start start sprinkling in the middle because you'll end up with a massive glob of cheese there.
And looks like we did use the whole 8 ounces of cheese. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, that looks really good, the way that you covered that there. So.
That's perfect. And then we're going to add some bacon before we throw it in the oven. We're not going to use all our bacon.
Well, you could, but...
Well, we're going to put some on top. So we're going to reserve some of the bacon. Put some on here. I think we're good here. We're going to pop this in the oven at 500 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until the cheese starts to get bubbly and brown and the edges of the crust start to turn brown. Well, it is time for our Ask Fox Hollow segment for this week. And what's the question this week?
Well, our friend James wants to know, are we ever going to put out a recipe book?
Oh, a recipe book. Oh, that's a good idea. We have actually a lot of really cool recipes that we've thought were some of our best. So that's a very good possibility. We might do that sometime in the future.
What do you think? Maybe a giveaway?
Maybe a giveaway. Yeah, that would be something we can do as like a contest or something. I think that would be good.
Well, you guys at home, what do you think the title of our recipe book should be called? I mean, Dave, do you have any suggestions off the top of your head?
Yeah, good question. Baking with Fox Hollow Kitchen, but I don't know what you would call the book then. Well, we'll think of something. I'm sure we'll come up with something. Maybe that's part of the contest.
Okay. So what are we doing here?
Okay, now that our pizza is out of the oven and we've let it cool for a few minutes, we are going to throw our toppings on. We're going to put some lettuce on here. In the recipe, I say like 3/4 of a cup of lettuce, but
personal preference.
Yeah, whatever you feel like putting on here. I think that's probably about good.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, and then our tomatoes that we cut up earlier. Throw on our tomatoes. Same thing, just sprinkle them over the top. And then we reserved a little of the bacon, so we're going to put the rest of the bacon and just sprinkle it over the top.
Just as you said, bacon always makes everything better.
Bacon makes everything better. And there you have it. That is a BLT pizza. And now for the best part of making any pizza, the taste test. So I'm going to pick this up here. Here we go. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato on a pizza. You guys are going to love it. Wrapping up today, I want to thank you all for joining us and encourage you to check out our friends and support channels listed in the description below. But before I go, always remember, good times and good food on Baking with Fox Hollow Kitchen. We'll see you soon.
If you like this video or any of our other videos,
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and stay tuned for future shows.